Hey everybody, it is Kaylee. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new to my channel. I make content all about reselling used clothing online. I sell on sites like eBay and Poshmark. Today I am back with another Q&A answering your reselling questions that you guys have asked me on my YouTube videos. The point of these videos are to share the questions that have been asked, because chances are if one person has asked them, several people are wondering the same thing. And in a lot of instances, these questions that I'm sharing with you have been asked to me multiple times. So as always, I just wanted to start by saying that this advice is all my opinion. What works for my business might not work the same way for yours, but I'm going to answer in my experience. First question, how do you sell so much? Love your videos. I've only been reselling going on 3 months now and trying to stop comparing my numbers with others, but it is hard. Is it necessary to have big inventory to have higher volume of sales? What's a good inventory number of pieces to have? So first thing I wanted to address is that when you are a newer reseller, it is really hard not to compare yourself with others. This is because social media is so prevalent in our lives, even in the reseller community. And because we all have different business models, we live in different places and have access to a lot of different things, all of our advice are different. So you might watch my channel and hear completely opposite advice on another reseller's channel. And it doesn't make one advice right or wrong. It just means that it's what works for them or what works for me. So you really need to find what works for you. The best advice I have ever heard, and the one that's made the most impact on success in my business, has been to stop comparing myself to others. I actually made a video all about this, so if you're interested in watching that, I will link it up here. But you're right, it can be very hard. My suggestion is, if you're feeling overwhelmed like that, you really need to turn off social media for a while. Seriously, stop watching YouTube. Really take some time and figure out what your business model looks like, what your risk tolerance is, and what you are comfortable with, and then only watch resellers with the same business model. Trust me on this one, I wouldn't be telling you not to watch my videos if that wasn't very, very important. This person asked, is it necessary to have big inventory to have higher volume of sales? And kind of what I was going at before, it really depends on what business model you have. When I hear higher volume sales, to me that means the number of sales, but you could be having 20 $10 sales and make 200 bucks. And then I could have 5 $100 sales and make $500. So does higher volume sales really lead to success? I'm not sure that it does. Try not to focus on the volume of sales, rather the quality and the dollar amount that you're getting back in your business. As far as having a big inventory goes, no, it is not necessary. What you really, really, really need to focus on is sell-through rate. I also have a video on this that I will link up above on how to check sell-through rate. If you really, really check the sell-through rate of all of the items that you're picking up, regardless of whether they're going to sell for a low amount or if they're going to sell for a high amount, regardless if you're a volume or a quality-based seller, regardless, you want to focus on sell-through rate. If you always check the sell-through rate and make sure that the sell-through rate is there, you will always have consistent sales. And then last thing I wanted to say about getting consistent sales is you really want to remain consistent within your reselling business in order to get consistency. So this is on every platform, but really on eBay, if you're trying to make consistent sales, you want to list frequently, you want to send out offers, you want to ship frequently, you want to do something within the day that creates activity within the platform that you're selling on. And once you are consistent, you're basically telling the algorithm to push your items to the top because you are a consistent, tried and true seller. This person asked, what is a good number of inventory pieces to have? And I think I've already answered that. It really doesn't matter. It's just really what works for you. But like I said, if you want to see consistent sales, you've got to be consistent, and I highly suggest focusing and really diving deep into researching sell-through rate. In general, guys, if you first start reselling on one platform, it just takes some time to get trajectory and some traction on that platform. So don't beat yourself up over it. Okay, next question. I am going to condense this question But basically, they said 2 issues that they are having is that when they take photos on their phone, when they take darker items or black items, they come out as grayish or grainy or blurred. And the second issue that they were having was they only seem to be able to cross-post recently listed items on eBay and not the older listings, and they mentioned that they were using Vendoo. So I did respond to this person back when this question was asked, but I have also in the past had that issue with trying to take photos of dark items, whether it's black or a dark blue. And for some reason, even though when you're looking at it on your camera screen, once you actually look at the picture after the photo has been taken, it does look grainy or blurry, or oftentimes the white background turns this weird grayish color and it distorts the color of your item. This happened with my older phone. I had a Samsung Galaxy, I think it was a 7. It was a really old phone. And when I was using that, I had those issues. Since I have a newer model phone, it no longer gives me that issue. But one trick that I would do was I would try to touch different parts of the screen in order to focus on one part of the item and try taking pictures that way. Try to click on either the hanger or maybe the background or something different than what it's currently focusing on and taking the picture. And most of the time that seemed to fix the picture. But if you're trying to fix it all together, I will say if you have an older phone, usually that is the problem. And then as far as the cross-posting older listings go, I personally can't speak to Vendoo. I have never used Vendoo, but I know a lot of people like it. I personally use List Perfectly, and I've never had an issue cross-posting any listings, no matter how old they were. So I guess my suggestion to you is try out List Perfectly. I have a code if you'd like to use it. It is in my link tree of my description with the link to it plus the code that you can use for 30% off of your first month. List Perfectly is also really great because they offer a money back within 3 days. So if you start your month and within 3 days you decide you don't like it, you can ask for a full refund. Next question. Great information. I still have a hard time photographing jeans. I end up having to fold the item. Do you have any tips for fitting longer items in the square? So she had some other questions, but I'll answer this one first. When I photograph jeans, I hang them up on a hanger. They go onto the wall and I just step back. I'm able to capture the entire jean within the square. So if you're doing a flat lay, that might be half the issue because you can't get back far enough, because being back from the item would include you getting higher because you're standing above taking a flat lay. So I would suggest hanging your items and being able to step back further to capture the entire photo. Another question is if you have any tips for online sourcing. I see a lot of people are able to find designer on Posh and other platforms and flip it. So I do not frequently online source. I did a little bit more so than usual when the pandemic hit and we had a stay-at-home order. Hopefully I won't have to do that again, but I know for some people online sourcing can be a great source of inventory. When you online source, typically you are going to be paying up for items, and when you buy from other sellers, you really have to spend some time digging deep and finding sellers who have basically devalued their items in order to make a profit off of it. That can be really hard and can take time to find those items. One thing that I suggest is if there are items that you know you have sold before and you know every single time you pick it up, it is going to make you money, you can do saved searches on a couple different platforms, especially on eBay and Mercari. I know that I do saved searches. That way, when an item pops up and is newly listed, you can go directly there and see if it's at a price that you're willing to buy as a cost for inventory to flip online and see if any profit margins are made. But no, I in particular do mainly in-store sourcing. And then their last question, and this will probably be the last question of the video, liquidation boxes. I would love to know your opinion on them. I found a place where I could get high-end items for $10 each new with tags. Some people say that liquidation boxes are great and others say to stay away from them. I have watched a lot of reviews and seen great ones and pretty bad ones, so I'm hesitant. $10 per item for high end isn't that bad to me because you could pay that at a thrift store. So I am personally, and this goes again, you know, I have a different business model than a lot of other people, but personally, I am not a big fan of liquidation. And here's why. With liquidation, it is very convenient. You're getting items sent to you and shipped directly to you. It makes it easy to basically source from home. It's also convenient that you get so many items in bulk, and sometimes you can get them at a very low cost. My biggest hesitation with liquidation is because there are so much of these items being liquidated, chances are other people are buying the same items that you are buying to sell. And I mean the exact same items. So I know, for instance, I have looked into a couple of liquidation boxes. I've seen a lot of, for instance, Blank NYC jackets. Like, NYC can be a great brand to sell, but right now the market on that brand as far as jackets go seems to be very oversaturated. That is because so many people are buying those styles in that brand from liquidation. So something that could sell for a lot will probably take a long time to sell because there are so many people selling that exact same item on all the different platforms. And chances are, because of that, if an item is sitting, eventually you, as well as other resellers, are going to gradually start to drop that price. And that is how market value drops. So my biggest hesitation is the things that you are getting in liquidation, a lot of other people have had, and the saturation on the market is too great for me to risk paying for items like that. If you can get liquidation and you know the items are not going to be heavily saturated and you know that the sell-through rate will be there, I would say absolutely do the liquidation deal. But $10 is a lot for paying for items you're not sure are going to sell very quickly and they're going to sit. All right, guys, so I hope that these questions were helpful to you. I hope that I answered them in a way that you can understand that it really depends on what your business model is. Do not compare yourself to me if you do not share the same business model or mindset that I do. If you have any more questions about reselling, drop them in the comments down below. I am frequently answering these questions in this format online for others to hear, and you could really help out some other resellers by asking your question. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.